Hello and welcome to Trading Accelerator, week 3, and continuing on with this next session. I'm Corbs. Now, it's that time in the week again where we need to switch gears from the theoretical and from the learning to getting very hands-on and getting very practical. Just coming off of last week, week 2, we discussed a lot of the mental issues and the mindset side of trading. And then we ended the week dealing with technical analysis and introducing technical indicators. Now, in this week, we've covered some very, very important information. We're talking about risk management, and we've really drilled down on some of these ideas. And obviously, as you're learning these strategies, these techniques, and these ideas, you need to then be incorporating them into your trading. So last week, you should have added in some mindsets and error tracking and so forth. This week, you should be incorporating into all of your trades, all of your sims, everything, risk management, proper position sizing, and be really drilling in on that. Now, the practical hands-on stuff that we're going to be doing this week is not going to be focused around technical analysis, but rather it's going to be on account setups, making sure that you're in a position where you have access to all of the accounting that you need, okay? Any account type of setups, so that when you're ready to go live, that you have access to brokerages that are going to be accessible for the products that you want to trade, set up with sim accounts and trial versions and so forth, and then also introducing a different type of a charting package. So this is going to be the first account, if I can say it like that we'll be setting up, is going to be a new charting package. Now, we've already introduced TradingView, and by now you should be familiar with that, and you should have been using that. And TradingView is a package that I recommend, and it's obviously a package that I suggest, and I've done a walkthrough on it. And TradingView is very, very good for what it is. And we just have to understand that TradingView is a retail package geared towards retail traders, okay? Traders that are not professionals, traders that in a lot of cases don't really know what they're doing. And it's very user-friendly and almost has this simplistic Apple kind of a feel to it, okay? Not that there's anything wrong with that, but and depending on what your strategy is and your approach, that might never be an issue. But there's a lot more beyond that. And what you'll never do is go to a professional trading desk. You'll never go to a prop institution. You'll never get around a professional trader and see him open up his computer, log in to TradingView. It just won't happen because it is not a professional charting package. It's a retail package made for retail traders. Okay. And so what I want to do is introduce you to a professional charting package. And in this, as the title suggests, this session, we're going to be looking at Sierra charts. This is the charting package that I use. I'm a very big fan of it. And so I'm excited to be walking you through it and giving you a very good understanding of how to navigate around this slightly different platform. Okay. This is a very robust, very powerful trading package, and it is made with professionals in mind. Okay. There's several reasons why I use Sierra over all of the charting packages that are out there. And if you find yourself wanting to upgrade from something like TradingView, there are a lot of options. And if you want to do something besides Sierra, that's obviously perfectly okay. And once you get the understanding of what a professional charting package looks like and how to navigate around it, all of the other ones will be some variation of it and very similar. So even if you don't end up using Sierra, by walking through this tutorial and understanding this, you're still going to have a much better head start and a much better understanding of the package you decide on. But I'm sure after this tutorial, you'll probably want to stick with Sierra because it's an excellent package. Another massive benefit is the pricing. I've been a part of professional charting packages, and I've tried probably all of them that you're aware of. And some of them are expensive. I've paid upwards of $120, $150 per month for access to a charting package. And Sierra, for the best package that they offer, is $33 US a month, is what I get charged. Okay, so it's very, very reasonable considering what you get. And so let's go ahead and jump through this long introduction, but I wanted to kind of set the tone for the rest of the week as well as introduce Sierra charts. So here's what we're going to be covering. Let's go ahead and jump into this. What we're looking at is introducing you to a professional charting package. We're going to be looking at how to install and link a broker, looking at creating chart books. And in this session, I'll actually be giving you the chart book that I use. Okay, so what you'll be able to do is just copy over my chart book. I'm going to show you exactly how to do this, and you will have 100% my setup. You'll have the exact number of charts that I use. You'll have the volume profile set up exactly the way that I use it. You'll have even the toolbar will be customized exactly like mine. It'll be an identical replica that you can copy, you can just use, you can open up and have on your own. So it's going to save you a ton of time in trying to start off and navigate this platform. And from there, if you want to add in other symbols or tweak it, it'll still be a lot easier. Okay, so this is a really cool feature and it's going to be very, very beneficial. And I'll have a chart book for all the different products that you'd want to look at. Okay, so how to customize it to your preference, we'll be looking at that as well. And then the tools and resources that are available through this package, just navigating around it, getting very familiar. All right, so without any further ado, let's jump into Sierra charts. So the best thing to do is go ahead and let's open up a web browser. Just go to your Google search engine, and we just need to look up Sierra charts. Okay, so if you just type in sierracharts.com or sierrachart.com, it'll take you right to their webpage. And at first glance, this is their opening page. This is their web page here. And you'll really get a feel for what I said earlier, how TradingView is geared towards simplicity, and it has a very user-friendly feel to it. And you do not get that at all with Sierra charts. And a lot of charting packages that are professional are just like this. A lot of text, a lot of just the raw information. But again, this is not tailored to people who don't know what they're doing, okay? Not that there's anything wrong with that, and not that those people shouldn't be tailored to, but this is not what they aim to do. As it says in this first introduction, Sierra Charts is a professional trading platform, okay? So a lot of options, lots of things we can do here. And I'm going to walk you through some of these things a little bit later on, but the main thing you'll want to do here is just get started. They do offer a free trial, so there'll be a big green button here in the corner that says get started with Sierra Chart now, free trial. So when you click on this, it's going to take you to a 5-step process, and we'll see some more of this in a little bit, but Sierra does an excellent job of walking you through everything, okay? What we did with TradingView was about an hour-long tutorial, and I probably covered about 80% of everything that Sierra Charts could, or that TradingView can do, okay? I'm going to aim to keep this tutorial about the same length, but I'll probably cover about 10% of what Sierra can do. Okay, Sierra is very powerful as a program, and it has a lot of features. All right, so just keep that in mind. But I'm going to show you how to use their support, and if there is anything that you have a question about, it's almost ridiculous how thorough they are at explaining it. Even though it's not that interactive or user friendly, it's very just like this, text and blocky, but it's very, very thorough. Okay, so you'll see here, step 1 is just to download. So the first thing you want to do is download Sierra Charts. So if you click this, it'll automatically start downloading. If you go to the software download page, it'll bring you to a new page and just give you every step-by-step thing that you could want to know about about downloading it. Okay, this is only available for Windows. And one thing you'll notice is it's pretty common. Most professional trading packages are not available on Mac. There is a way to use this for Mac, but it involves using some kind of a partition on your hard drive and downloading a Windows version on that side. Okay, so that's kind of where we're at with it, but you can download it. Once you download, you can open it up. It'll just bring you a page like this where you can install the latest version. I won't walk through that because I already have it installed, but that'll be the first step, is just downloading it. This is not a website that you go to like TradingView. This is an actual program that is going to run on your computer, okay? So you need to go ahead and you'll be downloading this and setting it up there. Now, once you have it downloaded, the next thing you'll need to do is go to step 2, which is going to be create your account. And here it talks about the full functional 15-day free trial. And what you're going to do is create an account, and then it's going to give you login instructions, okay? So when you create the account, it's going to tell you to enter an email address. This will basically be your username. And then to proceed, they'll send you an email. You're just going to set up. It's a very, very simple process. I don't need to walk you through that, but you'll get a username and a password in your email. And then there's login instructions. Whenever you click on the icon that is Sierra Charts to open the program, it's going to bring you to a box that looks just like this, where you type in your username, your password, and then it will open up your charts. Okay, so you want to make sure you hit that save login or the save password, because the next time you go to log in, you won't have to enter it. It'll save you a step. So just make sure you do that before you log in, and then step-by-step instructions if you need those. Okay, but very simple. And then once you're logged in and once you have access, once you have the charting package downloaded, and once you have the account set up, the next thing you need to do is become set up with data. Okay, and this is how you're going to be firing up your charts. So it's going to give you a free version that you can get started with, and it's going to give you this step-by-step here. Okay. And then this will actually, I'm going to walk you through this a little bit more in the tutorial and show you kind of this on how to set it up with different brokerages and how exactly you link your broker to this charting package. Okay. But just know that it's here under data and trading services. And just to give you an example of how this kind of search engine works, if you just typed in TD trading service, and press search, okay, it would come up with TD Ameritrade trading service. So if you were using Thinkorswim, and it will just give you the step-by-step of exactly what to do to get fired up with there. Okay, so you can do this for anything. Again, just to kind of show you how good they are with their support for this program. Okay, so that'll be see here, go back one. Okay, yeah. So they'll set you up with a free package, and they'll show you how to do that. But then I'll walk you through this a little bit more. But you can use their free data for now until you get access to an actual broker. And then the fifth step is just going to be after your trial, you activate a service package. So you'll go through your free 14 days, and then it'll cut you off where you can go ahead and add a service package. And this is going to let you keep going month on month on month. Okay, so it'll give you an option here that's pretty simple, but it'll show you on the chart when your balance is low, and it just tells you exactly how to add usage credit. You go down, select your package, upgrade. This one's $24. There's a few different packages, but like I said, the big one that they offer is $33, so pretty cheap. Especially considering what you get. Okay, so at this point, you can go ahead and stop this recording and go through these steps. Go ahead and download it. Go ahead and start your package if you'd like. You can stay with me, or you can download this on your own and then walk through it with me. Or you can always come back and reference this for later. Okay, so I'm just going to assume that you've done all this and you're good to go. And I'm going to go ahead and fire up my Sierra charts. Okay, so I've disconnected real quick because this is after hours anyway. And it will probably go a little bit smoother, but this is how I'll open up. When you open up your charting package, okay, what it's going to look like is something like this. There shouldn't be any charts. There shouldn't be anything, okay? And this is why this walkthrough is going to be important, because this can be kind of daunting on where to start, because it's not that user-friendly feel. And after I give you my charting package and show you how to open it up, it'll give you exactly this, okay? So it'll be loaded with the ES. In this chart package, for instance, it'll have as I said earlier, the volume profiles will be set up just like mine. The toolbar customed exactly the way I have it. The 4-grid layout, everything will be identical. And then from here, it'll be very easy for you to tweak it and make it your own. Or if you'd like, you can have it set up exactly how I have it set up. And then you can just create new ones for different products. Okay, so a lot of options here. We'll get to a little bit of that later on. But I want to go ahead and start off with just a blank charting package. A blank chart book, so that you know how to set it up and you know how to go through it and create your own charts, obviously. Okay, so there's a lot of tabs up here at the top. The first one just says File, and this is going to be pretty standard for any type of a program where you can open, save, do those type of things. So the first thing you're going to want to do is find symbol. Okay, this is where you start. So when you click Find Symbol, this is where you're going to look up the ticker symbol for whatever product you're looking to trade. And you'll notice, very similarly to like TradingView, when you type in something like ES, it'll give you a lot of options. Here, it gives you nothing. Okay, you have to know exactly what the symbol is you're looking for. It won't give you any help. And so you can type it in if you know it. If you don't, you can figure out what you're looking for. There's obviously a lot of options here. So you can go into Futures, and we could scroll down until we get to the E's. Everything's alphabetized. We can type in the ES because that's what we're looking for, and we can select the contract we're looking for. All right, right now is going to be the March contract, so we would click that, and it would put it in there. We could skip this step and just type this in if we already knew it, or you can look it up. So you have options here to open a historical chart, an intraday chart, or a trading DOM. All right, we're going to go ahead and stick with intraday chart. Historical charts and the DOMs we don't need to worry about right now. Let's go ahead and open a intraday chart. Okay, so once we do that, it'll fire up, and here we have an intraday chart for the S&P 500 future contract, the ES. All right, so this is set to 60 minutes right now, and it's just a pretty standard bar chart, nothing else on here. And this is where we're going to be starting. Okay, so that's how you start a new chart. And then if you want more charts in this, chart book, then you would just keep adding, and you can keep finding symbols, keep adding them. That's how you would add up to 4, and you can add a lot more than that if you'd like. There's not a cap, I don't think. Anything reasonable, you can go ahead and log on here if it's 6 or whatever. Okay. So for now, I'm actually going to go back to the way that I have this set up. When I walk you through the rest of these things, I think it will maybe be a little bit easier for me to point stuff out that's already here, even though I'm showing you how to do it. I just wanted to kind of show you how to do your own chart, and then all of these other things are going to be added on from there. So if we go ahead and look back at file, again, not a whole lot I need to point out here other than just the basic file features you would expect. And then on the right side here, it's going to give you the 14 most recent chart books that you've interacted with. So they'll just be here for quick reference. You can pop it up and open to them. We'll move right across and I'll just go through these quickly, but we have the edit tab. Okay. Again, not much I need to point out here. You can look through this, but if you go to copy chart, this copy to chart.bmp, if you click on that, what it'll do is it will actually save your chart. Okay. To a paint. Okay. So let me actually not save this, and let me do a better example here. If you do a full screen chart, copy, okay, and so this is just going to be a picture. It's going to open up in Paint, and you can do whatever you want with it. So you can use this for reference, and you can use this for journaling or anything else that you'd like, all right? So that's one cool feature I just wanted to point out. The other stuff is pretty self-explanatory once we get a feel for some of the other stuff we're going to be covering. Next over, we're going to go to charts. This chart feature has a lot of options, obviously. Okay, so one of the first things here, and the main thing, is going to be to get to chart settings. Once you're inside chart settings, you have several different options here. There's main settings, advanced, advanced 2, advanced 3, and alerts. So let me just walk you through this quickly so it's not overwhelming. Once you get there's kind of 2 main layouts that once you understand how they look, everything else is going to get very simple, okay? So this is kind of the first layout. When you open up settings, you're going to have advanced tabs, main settings, and they're going to be structured like this, okay? So what we're looking at right now, this is our chart settings tab, the main tab. So you can select how much data you want to bring in. This is for this 15-minute chart, and what we're doing is I'm using the number of days to load, and I'm using 35. For an intraday chart, there's no reason to just bring in a ton of data. Because remember, this isn't this isn't a website. This is a program. So you don't need to just bog anything down by just having an excessive, bringing in 2,500 days, even though you could, but you don't need that at all. Especially on some of these bigger picture charts, you're going to want to bring in more data. But intraday, you can keep it light and tight. And these settings will all be configured when you do my chart book, but you can change these around however you'd like, okay? So you have some other options here. This is the one I'm using. These options should be standard even if you're not using my charting pack or my chart book, so don't change any of these. This will be the symbol for the chart. If you're ever in a situation where you've duplicating charts and you need to change the symbol for some reason, you can just find it and change it out right here, okay? So this is kind of like one section, and then we can move to the right, and there's another section here, and then there's one more kind of section here. So this is going to be an intraday chart. Gives you the option to do historic or intraday chart only. We'll just stick with intraday charts. And right now we have the bar period type, okay? So it is set to days, minutes, seconds per bar. So this is just saying that it is set to a time. And you can do the days here, the minutes here, and the seconds here. You can see it says 15 where the minutes would be. So however you want to change this around, that'll change it. You can do 15 minutes, 17 minutes, 30 minutes, 1 hour, 5 hours, 1 day, whatever. It doesn't matter. You can change it out however you'd like. And then you have a lot of options here for how you can change it, okay? So you'll notice on the trigger chart that I have it set to 5 ticks, and this is a range bar chart. The one over here that we're looking at, this is a 15-minute time frame, okay? So several other options here. There's a start time and an end time. I have this set up because of the product this is trading. This is going to be for Eastern Central Time or Eastern Standard Time, the open and the close of the underlying product for the S&P. Okay, so it's set there. I'm not using the evening sessions. I'm just using the day session. The evening sessions are separated off. I'll talk about that in just a second. And I'm also, because of my start and end time, this doesn't matter, but I don't want to load in any weekend data, but it's not setting up in here anyway, so that's canceled out. Okay, so you have the option for the graph type. This is going to be how you want your data to be displayed. It's set to candlestick bars. Remember when we talked about bar charts, I told you that in some environments you'll see OHLC for open, high, low, and close. All right, so that's how we have that's what we have going on here with the OHLC, just kind of a more of a standard version for it. Okay, here's a good example of why you don't want to just bog yourself down with too much data, okay? Because every time you change something, I has to bring in, all 35 days worth of data. So if you have a lot, it's going to take a lot longer. If I wanted to customize this a lot, I should actually drop that down so it doesn't take as long to load every time. But let me just, for example, change this over to just like 5. Oops. Okay, and we can get back to the candlesticks. Also, F5 is a shortcut if you ever want to go right to your chart settings. Okay, but there's a lot of options here. You can change it. The line we've talked about. Okay, so we've discussed some of these. Point and figure you'll see on here. We have the point and figures. So anything you'd like, you can change that around. I'm obviously going to stick with candlestick. That's how all my charts are. And that's how we have them set up, okay? Okay, yeah, we don't want to use evening sessions. Okay, All right, so that's all I wanted to walk through over here. We have the advanced settings. I'll let you guys walk through this. I don't want to make this a ton too long for a tutorial, but you can select your time zone. Mine's set right now to the New York time zone. And wherever I'm at, I keep it here. And then I just adjust when I'm sitting at the computer, but everything will stay here so that this doesn't get messed up. We have advanced. You can change the name, do a lot of different things, however you want to set this up. It's all just customizable. And then there's some alerts. This is kind of a different section. It's not just being notified. You can actually get really customizable with these alerts. And there's a lot you can do here. If you're into coding at all, you can really do some cool stuff with the alert section. Okay, so that's just kind of the basics of your chart types, the chart settings. And right underneath that, we have a kind of a quick way to get to changing out the draw type, as it's called here, but this will just be your bar type, so you can change that out quickly. There's a graphic setting for your chart, this just kind of gets into the nitty gritties of how customizable this platform is. For instance, you can go to the chart text font, and if you wanted to change that out, you could, change the fonts, you could change how the style is, you could change the size. You can actually go get more fonts, all the colors. I mean, it's just every little aspect of this you can tweak around however you like. So if you want to go crazy with that, no problem. All right. One thing cool too is this little section here that says lock fill space. Okay. If you'll notice, I'm scrolling my mouse right now and nothing's happening. I can move it this way, and you see all the bars kind of disappear pretty far away from the edge of my screen. And then once I get to a certain point, I can't go any farther. Okay, that's because I had the fill space locked. If I don't lock this, then I can rotate it all the way to the edge of my screen. Okay, now you'll notice with mine, I have a lot of lines that are all labeled. Okay, and so my fill space is locked. Again, I'm scrolling right now and this isn't getting in the way. But as soon as I take that off, then all of a sudden this all kind of runs together and it gets really messy. So there's several other cool reasons to use this lock fill feature. But this lock fill space will keep this, again, scrolling, nothing's happening, okay? So it kind of keeps everything where you want it for whatever you're doing. It's a really cool little feature, but just wanted to point that out while we're here. So it's more about you can set it up on a grid, you can do the scaling, so forth, okay? This is the replay feature. You can want to get very comfortable with this. It just opens up a tab, switches everything over to sim, and then you can start simming. So you start replaying the charts. Really cool feature. Make sure you guys use that. This is reload and calculate. If your charts are ever kind of off for some reason, the data maybe, you can press reload and recalculate, and it'll take all of your charts and just refresh the data for it. Okay, so you might need to use that. Some other things here we'll talk about in a little bit. Bar periods, you can just switch this quickly, but it's we also showed you how to do that under the chart settings tab. And then from here, this is pretty handy. Okay, so you can click on one of the charts that you'd like, and you can click detach attach chart window, and then it's now a floatable window, okay, that you can put on another screen. You can bring back over anything you'd like, and then you can always just reattach it. Okay, so pretty cool. You can use that. Nothing else necessarily here that I wanted to talk about. These are all just features you can check out. Okay, like things like this, the bar spacing, the bar width. You can change how close and how far apart the bars are, how tall they are. You can do a lot of things with that, but no reason to go through it all necessarily. Okay, the next tab over is analysis. We can click here. There's custom studies and things we can do, and we can go to studies. This is going to be our indicators. Okay, so there's a lot of options here. Obviously, if you just scroll through, you can see a lot of these are very, very good and well created. So you can explore around with any of these that you'd like. You'll find a lot of options here that aren't going to be on TradingView. Now, this is the second kind of layout. All right, when we were in the chart settings, I kind of wanted you to see that. Now, in this layout, whenever you're customizing stuff, you're going to see this very similar thing surface in TradingView. Okay, so what I mean by that is you'll have on this left side of the screen everything that's available to you. And then on the right side of the screen, you'll have everything that's already added. And then as you click on something, you can add it over. And then if you click on something on the side where it already is, you can get it removed. Okay, so it's just like boom, 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 boom. These are the things you're already using. These are the things that you have available to you. Okay, so if you wanted to come down in here and maybe add an RSI over, okay, then if you press apply, it would plot down here in a separate pane. Okay, it'll give you the RSI, and then obviously you can open it up and customize it. You can remove it, and it's gone. Okay, so that's how you interact with that. So you'll see here what we have going on, the cumulative delta bars. I can never say this word. You guys will hear me stutter that all the time when we're trading. But this is what is in this graph down here. Okay, the clock, this real time, that's actually this fixture here. The initial balance, okay, that gets plotted for me automatically. And then this is the volume profiles, how I have these set up, the volume by price. And just to kind of give you an example, if you were to double click on anything, you can open it up to customize it. And if you notice the options that are available on TradingView, and then you notice all of the options that are available here, there's just a ridiculous amount that you can do with this. Okay, so I'll give you the ability to kind of have this all configured exactly how I have it, and you can come in here and check out all of these. Most of these are going to be pretty self-explanatory, like the ticks per volume bar. Okay, if you widen this out and maybe do 5, you'll see how much thicker and blockier this is and less refined. So the cleaner you can drill it down, the more the refined and the more illegible your levels are going to be. Okay, so I keep that drilled down as tight as it can go, which is 1. Obviously, you don't really get that feature that often in TradingView because it's an online website. The data is not that great. Okay, so that's a really good plus here. And then I'm just going to point out anything here that I need to. Okay, the start and end time are set up. I'll have these set up for you, but this is going to be so that it runs with the session time. Things like the width, you can just customize this around however you want. If you were to do like a 15 for the max width, you see how narrow that gets, and I have it set to 70 right now, so it gets very, very thick. Right align the bars, you can do no, and it'll put them on the left side. I like them on the right, so that's just where I have them, preference. And several other features here. Again, these are going to be self-explanatory, so I don't want to take the time. Align to far right. Okay, it's no on this one. You can see that there's the edge of the screen, and then it actually ends with the time frame. But on these bigger charts, the edge of the screen is going to be the volume profile. Okay, so I like to separate them like that. That's how you would change that feature around, though. Okay, so a lot of other options here. You can check these out. And then subgraphs, even something like this is the point of control line. Okay, so you can change the color of it however you'd like, what kind of line you want, how you want that to be, thickness, label it, name it, anything. Okay, so you can explore it without me walking you through piece by piece, but that's how you access all of this. Is just going to be under your studies. Okay, F6 will be the shortcut. You'll also notice anything that has a shortcut, it'll tell you kind of at the end of it what the shortcut is as well. All right. Moving on, this is tools. I'm not going to point really anything out here. These are pretty obvious. You should have a feel for most of these, and you can play around with anything that you don't have a feel for. They're just tools, lines and so forth, Fibonacci, fan, whatever. They're just all right here, arrows. And so you can check those out. Those are your tools. There's a spreadsheet if you want to get into extracting some of the data out. There's a trade setting. So this, there's several features here you can check out. This is how you can go to trade simulation mode, okay? So if you click that, it's going to enable the trade simulation mode, and now this is going to be sim trading. I think I'm disconnected from the data right now, but if I was connected, I think it would actually change the color of this as well. I'm pretty sure it does that. Okay, so if that's checked, then the trade simulation mode is on. You can turn it off, and it's just telling you that you're going to go back to a live environment. So that's how you would get back and forth. So that's pretty good thing to know about. There's also this trade activity log, okay, down here. So to trade activity log. And this is a pretty cool feature here, okay? So what we have going on here is you can select what data you want to bring in, okay? So it'll do the symbols that you're trading. You can do the if you're on sim or if you're on a real account, you can bring in. So like all symbols, non-sim, this will be all the symbols you've traded. You can select a specific account if you have multiples. And then you can select the date range, okay? So for this example, yesterday was Tuesday. If I bring in all the data from yesterday and today, it'll bring in nothing changes. If I come in for just the data today and onward, it'll be 0, okay? So if you ever want to bring in data, bring in this information from a range, always the day you want, always go one more day back, and then it'll bring it in, okay? So, and then you can check off if you want it to come all the way up to today or just a specific range, okay? You can put the commissions on there too, so it'll put those in there for you. You can select how you want it to be, the values, okay, points, ticks, so forth. You can keep it as currencies. And so what this is showing you is this is going to show you everything in that date range that you've done, okay? So this right here is the trading that we did today in the group, all right? This was actually our first day back doing live trading. So we took it really slow, and we had a horribly, painfully slow trading session. Very little opportunity. We ended up just kind of banging out a little bit of profit and trying to, be scrappy with it. So, and we only traded for a couple hours in the morning, during our normal time. The times might change depending on when you're watching this, but just to kind of give you an idea, this isn't an ideal trading day to be showing you, but it was just the most recent, and so I just want to show you how this works. So what it's going to tell you is what your closed profit is. This is what this first line is. So today it was $237.50, for the morning, and it'll tell you what your gross profit was, what your losses were, what your profit factor is, and then it'll just kind of give you a bunch of things here that you can look through. And if you go to trades, it'll actually break down by symbol each product you traded, and it'll tell you several things here of information you can check out, like your running P&L. So this was our first trade, a little more profit, little loss, little more profit, scratch, and more profit. Okay, so and then it's just a lot of information here that you can check out. Very, very helpful. Kind of give you an idea of how many trades you're taking per day. And how you're performing on a lot of metrics. Okay, so really cool stuff, very detailed considering it's just a charting package and it's not a software that's made for this, but it's going to give you a lot of really good information. Just how many trades you took, what's your percentage you're profitable, what size your winning trades are and stuff. So this is really, really good information for you that you can use. Any one day isn't that important, but you can select your weeks at a time, and you can go back and really dig down on the weeks that you've done and see all your numbers and what's what, okay? So this is a really cool feature, very, very nice, and it's the trade activity log, all right? So you can check that out, very powerful information, and that's the only thing I really wanted to show you in here, okay? Global settings, this is settings that you can use. We'll be using this a little bit later, but if you ever want to know where your data file is, okay, it's going to be on your C drive, Sierra Charts, /data, okay? We'll be getting there a little bit. The only thing I want to point out here is you can enable charting packages that are going to open when you start. So for me, every time I open my charts automatically, I don't have to open these manually. The ES and the overnight for the S&P, these open up for me. Okay, so you can add as many of them in here as you'd like, but if I want to do any of my other charting packages or charting books, I open those manually. These just fire up automatically. Okay. So global settings, same things here, just some a lot of different features you can just get in here and mess around with. Um, and we don't need to cover any of those right now. Okay, window feature, kind of the same thing, just, press cascade, it cascades them, and you have a lot of options here for how you can, do these around. For me, I have it gridded, side to side, but you can do whatever you'd like. You can detach. Okay, one thing here is the control bars. Right now I have one, so this is the only control bar. But from this tab, you can select control bar and select two, and it'll give you a second one, okay? And you can keep going with this, is all the way up to 8. So there can be a lot of these, and if you click on them, you can put them in different places as well. So kind of a lot of features here, but I'll show you guys how to do this more in a second. But just so you're aware, I only use one, so we'll go ahead and back that up. Okay, this CB stands for chart books, and it just shows you all the chart books that you have open. You can switch back and forth. CW is your chart window. Okay, so it's whatever chart book you're on, it is going to show you all the chart windows that you have available. And then there's this help section. Okay, from here you can add usage credit. This would be paying for another month of data, or another month for the charting package. And there's also this support and support board. Okay, so if you ever have a problem with anything, and I mean anything, go to help, click support board. What it's going to do is give you a completely separate window. And from here, like, there's this search engine. Type in anything that you want. Like, just type in chart books, press search, and it'll give you a lot of options here. Okay, so this first one, chart books workspace. Okay, chart books are what we've been working on, obviously. It gives you introduction, creating a new one. It just goes down and down the list of everything you could want to know about your chart books. Okay, so you can click on one of these and just kind of go through. Basically, all of these will just be listed here in order. You can just scroll through how to remove, how to save them, how to open them, how to share them, how to, whatever you would possibly want to do. So just kind of another example of how very, very thorough this is if you need any type of information. Okay, so really cool features that they have there. If you ever need any help, just go to support, type it in. You'll get a very good walkthrough. Okay, moving on, just a couple more things to cover here. Really, this is your toolbar. Okay, so I have mine on the top. If you just right click on it, you can attach it to the bottom if you like. It'll put it down here. If you can attach it to the left, the right, anywhere you like. I like mine at the top, so I just have it on the top. Okay, and if you right click on it again, you can customize it. Okay, and back to this very similar layout. Here are all the things available to you, and here are all the things that we have already. Okay, so inside any of these options, like if it's a tool you want, you would click on tools, and it'll show you all the tools that you could, grab any of these and add them over to there. If you wanted to do something like this grid that I have, okay, you could go to the window tab because that's where you would find that setting. You can open this up and it would, show you all the different things that you can do to the windows, and you can add them there for quick reference. Okay, so very, very, very customizable here. If you click on any of these, you can move them around. Okay, so here I have tool config 7 is right there, but if I go move up, move up, move up, and then if I were to, apply this, then all of a sudden from now this is 6 and 7 moved all the way over here. Okay, so you can change this. That's how you would move stuff around the way that you want it, just so that it's exactly how you want it. All right. So okay, that's all I wanted to tell you about customizing this toolbar. However you'd like it, it'll come if you use my chart book just like this. So you can do anything you want with it, but that's how it'll come. And once you're in, let me explain this to you a little bit, how we have these tool configures, because this is very nice. If you have well, actually, let me tell you the things I have on here first. I have these options I don't necessarily use, but these are just for saving and so forth. These are for data. And this right here just gives me a pointer that gives me a crosshair for quick reference. This line tool, okay, is going to be a horizontal line. And when I press it, it just gives me a line, okay? There's a lot of things that I use line for. All of these are all line tool, okay? So when I click on the line tool, it gives me all these configurations. And if I do 1, it's going to give me the opening range high. If I click on 2, it's going to give me the opening range low. Okay, you can see these here as they're coming off. The 3 is going to give me an HVN, an LVN. 4 is going to give me the HVN. Okay, and if I'm hovering over these as well, as you just saw, they will tell me what they do. Okay, So overnight low, overnight high, HVN, LVN, because I have them customized, okay? The other thing I have on here is an extended rectangle. So if I'm ever doing like a zone that I want to be aware of, okay, I can use this tool and mark that off, and it'll just keep extending it out to the right forever until I stop it. All right, so that's something I'll use quite a bit. So I have that for quick reference. I have a Fibonacci retracement tool. I use this a lot for the 50% retracement mostly, just because I have a few plays that navigate around that. I don't actually use the Fibonacci levels, but I use this as a tool to draw extensions basically. And I have this customized a little bit to where it shows me just the percentages I want. It shows me what each one of the prices are and then what the distance is in points. Okay, so you can customize that around if you just double tap on it. It'll bring up, okay, or go to chart draw properties, I guess. But it'll give you all these options how you can change around however you want. But I have it set up this way, and it'd probably be the way you have it set up by default if you're using mine. Okay. The other thing is just a line tool. Okay, this will just be for drawing trend lines and so forth. Then I have all these customizable buttons, and then I have the grid because I like to work with these a lot inside the chart book. And then if I ever just press grid, it just goes back to the way it is. I have the replay feature here. So if I click this, it'll start my chart replay. I have the volume profile tool. So if I click on this and select the section, it'll just automatically draw me a profile. Okay, so I have that for very quick reference because I'll use that quite a bit. And then I have a risk to reward button. And this is a little bit maybe different than what you'd be used to. If we come here and use the risk to reward, the way this works is you start off with where your stop loss is going to be. And actually, let me do it on this chart. It'll be a little bit easier. But you'll start where your stop loss is going to be, and you'll bring it up to where your entry is going to be, and then you'll finish it with where your profit target is going to be, okay? And then you'll be left with kind of this bracket. I have this tool customized with certain things, so it won't probably look just like this. But the way I have it is it'll do a line for your stop loss, a line for your entry, and then a diamond for your target. And then at the top, it'll show you what price your entry was, what price your stop was, what price your target is, and then it'll show you the risk to reward, and then these individual prices as well. Okay, so how far they actually are in terms of points, as well as the dollar amounts. Okay, per contract, obviously. Okay, so that's just another tool I'll grab quite a bit. So I want to make sure it's there for quick reference, and that's why I have it on my toolbar. Okay, so you can customize that out however you'd like, but this is how I have it set up. Once you're in a tool, okay, what you can do is, for instance, some of these I don't need multiple configurations on, but if you click on a tool and you want to configure it, all you have to do is right click and then press configure button, okay, because this is the button we're going to configure. And what you see here is as we go through this, okay, if we go to this customize 1, you'll see it's white, it's a line, it's overnight high. If I go down to 2, you'll see it's overnight low, white line. If I go to 3, it's red, dashed, LVN, okay? And you can obviously just see what's going on here. All the way down till 7 is just a straight line. Nothing fancy there, okay? But you can add this all the way up to 8. You can add in as much bits as you want, and then you can go all the way up to 24 even. Okay, so it gives you a ridiculous amount of customizable things. But that way, you can just use one tool and just switch it around to whatever you want it to do. If, like me, you're using one tool for a lot of different purposes, okay? And then in here, you can just configure a name to it that you can have it visible, and you can change this price button. Okay, if you don't have that clicked, it's not going to tell you what price these are. It's just going to draw the line out. And then I also want to show the configured name and so forth. So you can do all that. You can change all of this around. Okay, so it's pretty easy once you kind of get the feel for it. The main thing is just to get familiar with looking at this screen and how these things are set up, and then getting used to looking at this screen, okay, the way that this is set up. If you can understand those two things, then everything about this charting package is actually pretty easy, and it's gonna come to you pretty quick, okay? So those are the options. That's kind of a pretty good walkthrough. Again, with kind of just scratching the surface, because I don't want this to be a 3-4 hour, kind of content video, even though it wouldn't be that hard to drag it out there. Now, the last thing that I want to do real quick is let me show you how to click how to sync up a broker to this, and then let me show you quickly how to import the charting, my chart book, and then we'll wrap this up. Okay. So what you're going to do is click on this DTS. Okay, this is the Data Trade Service button. You can also go to Global Settings and scroll down to Data Trade Service Settings. Okay, so click on one of these, and it's going to bring you to this tab. Okay. From here, it's going to show you all of the different brokers that you can attach to this. So whoever you're trading with, for instance, in the kind of the example we were given earlier, if you're doing TD Ameritrade, you would click there and you would follow the walkthrough, but essentially your broker is going to give you a username and a password. You just enter these things in, and then you save them, and then it brings in the data. So it's very, very simple. I'll show you kind of this example. If you go to BitMEX, for instance, if you have a BitMEX account, this won't be through your broker. This is just going to be your API key and the API secret. Okay, so once you type those in and press OK, it will actually bring in that data. I have a chart book set up for Bitcoin, the futures contract for it. So I'll actually fire this up and kind of give you just an idea of how it works. Once you switch over to your data, it's just going to sync, and then it's going to bring in all of the history. Okay, and so what you'll actually have here is, in this case, this is for BitMEX. This is the data from BitMEX, and this is for the futures contract for Bitcoin on that exchange. Okay, so if you're trading BitMEX, you don't have to just use TradingView. You can use this, and you can actually go down to and set up a DOM for this as well. So when we did the find symbol, okay, right now we're using this, for XBT. So you can go down to BitMEX. You can click on the perpetual swap contract. Instead of another intraday chart, you can click Open Trading DOM, and then it's going to give you a depth of market that you can use and you can trade off of. Okay, so you can set this up on your charts however you'd like, but this will be real data. These will be real trades going right to your account. You can manage them here, and then you can also utilize things like the trade log and so forth. So it'll be pretty nice for you. And then right from here, you can even switch this over to simulation mode. Okay, and then this will give you the sim version to this account, and you can trade in here. Have access to all of the different order types we've already talked about, give you all of those features and so forth. So very cool setup, very, very nice, and you can take advantage of this. All right, so that'll be for that. And if you're in help and you just go to the support again, go to the support board. But there's a few ways to get to this, but if you just go to the data and trade services, it'll show you the supported services. And again, you can click on any one of these, right? Like BitMEX, if you're having any trouble doing this, it'll tell you all about it and show you exactly how to enter everything in. Okay, so it's shouldn't have any problems with this. The other thing that you can do, in maybe the off chance that your broker won't link up with TradingView, the other thing that you can do is you can enter orders from your broker, but you can use the trading package from TradingView. Okay, so let's say your broker gives you the option to have a depth of market. You can put the depth of market just floating like this, and you can use all the charting and all the features from Sierra, and then you can just place the orders right through your broker. Okay, or if your broker doesn't have depth of market, you can just keep the window on the side, place orders through them, but you can use the charting package for everything else. Does that make sense? Okay, so just kind of a way to get around it if you can't link your broker right up to it. But for most cases, you will be able to do that. Okay. Okay, so here's that, and I guess I can leave that there. Now, the only other thing I wanted to show you is how to upload my my charting package. Okay, so we'll make this really easy. Let me go ahead and okay, the best way for me to do this, I'm going to start a new instance actually. Okay, so I'm going to close out a couple of these chart books. Save any changes? No. Okay, and then I'm going to start a new instance. So this is actually going to fire up like a completely separate login and everything for Sierra. And once I get logged in here, will go. I might have to change this. Actually, okay, I'm going to let this log in. Okay, so this should be similar to what you're going to look at when you first fire it up. You won't have anything, essentially. Okay, so what you'll want to do is there's going to be a download onto the episode or the session you're watching right now that's going to take you to a Google Doc with a link in it, okay? The only thing you need to do is get to this link, click it, and it'll bring you to a page that probably won't let you preview it, but you can just download it, okay? When you download it, it's just going to come to the bottom of your window here, and it's going to download this file, okay? Once you have it downloaded, the best thing that you can do is just go to the file settings on your computer, okay? Go to all of your files and click your C drive, whatever it's called. Once you click this, it'll give you all of the files you have saved here. One of them will be Sierra charts. Once you've gone through this process and you've installed Sierra, the charting package, so click this and open it. And what you're going to want to do is get to data. Once you're inside data, it's going to show you all of the chart books that you have saved. I need to go through and clear some of these out, but I've been using this for a long time. And what you can do is grab this file as it's downloaded, just pick it up, bring it over, and drop it in here, okay? And I'm not going to do this, okay, because I've already done it, I guess. But you can just do that, set it in there, and then it will save it inside here. It's important that you get that file inside this Sierra data, okay? And if you're using multiple chart books for some reason, then you're going to want to go to Sierra Chart Instance 2 and make sure that it's here as well, okay? This won't be for most people, but what I did is I started a new instance, and so I'll need to put it in here if I want it to show up for the new instance, okay? Yeah, the new instance, the data. So this is where it'll show up, okay? So once it's here, you've downloaded it, you've taken it, you've copied it over. Once that's done, then all you have to do is go back to your blank chart that you have opened up, click File, scroll down to File, and then just go to Open Chart Book, okay? Once you're here at Open Chart Book, you'll select the name of the one we've already downloaded. So in this case, it was the Corbs ES. Press Open. Okay, and then this is just going to load up everything and configure it. All right, so you'll have all of the tools. Everything will be identical. Now, the only exception might be is if the brokerage you're using maybe has a little bit of a different symbol for the ES. Maybe it's the ES H19 or some kind of variation of that. So if that happens, then you'll just get a tab here saying that the symbol couldn't be located. All you have to do is just click the button and select the right one. You know, kind of do the almost the same process we did when we went to find a symbol. Okay, so it's very simple. But if that doesn't happen, then you are just all set and ready to go. All you have to do is get here and walk through the steps I just showed you, and you will be all set. Okay, so you can do this. You can take this chart book and you can copy it, make another one. You can change out the symbols, so have this same setup, but you can just go in here the way we've already showed you, change out the symbols, make it for another product. Do whatever you'd like with it, okay? And then once you actually go to save it, you could save it as, and you can change the name of this. So if you want to customize it, and then you can always have kind of the old one in here, and then you can customize and make a new one the way that you'd like it if you'd like, okay? But you could always go back and have the other one for reference, okay? So this is the last thing that I want to show you in this tutorial, and I'm going to go ahead and wrap this up. But go ahead and if you're interested in Sierra charts, make sure you sign up for a package on here, get started with them. You can follow right along. Anytime I do updates or anything, I'll share my chart books with you guys so we can all stay connected that way. And if you have any issues, just go to help. It's probably the best thing to do because, again, it's very, very thorough inside of here. Okay, so I hope that was helpful. I hope that answered a lot of questions for you on charting packages and especially professional ones. And when you're ready and you're set up, I will see you in the next session.